You're working a job you hate to pay for a car that gets you to that job, all to impress people who, let's be honest, probably too busy judging you for not having an even better car. I'm Lumo, and I spend a little too much time thinking about money so that you don't have to. You see, I look at bank statements the way a forensic pathologist looks at a crime scene. Most people, they just see transactions. I see the evidence of a slow, systematic theft of a human life. You know the feeling, don't you? That little tightening in your chest towards the end of the month. That phantom vibration in your pocket. You're terrified it's a debt collector. You've done everything right. You've followed all the rules. You got the job. And yet, somehow, the numbers never, ever seem to add up in your favor. It feels like you're running on a treadmill that's just slowly speeding up, and nobody ever told you where the off switch is. Now, here's where most people get it completely wrong. They think being broke is some kind of math problem. It's not. It's about a lack of psychological defense against a system that is expertly designed to exploit your most basic human impulses. In fact, there are 10 specific, almost invisible traps that are draining your future right now. And if you don't learn to see them, well, you are destined to repeat them until your time runs out. And the consequences? They're devastating. So let's begin the autopsy. These are the 10 financial traps that literally form the architecture of your own personal prison. Okay, the first incision, it reveals the trap of monthly payments. You see, the modern financial system, it doesn't really sell you products anymore. It sells you affordability. They don't ask if you can afford the price, they ask if you can afford the monthly installment. And this is a brilliant trick to bypass the pain center in your brain. When you see a $50,000 price tag, your brain screams, no way. But when you see $600 a month, your brain says, maybe. Next up, we find this mirage of lifestyle creep. You got that raise, right? And then, suddenly, you were struggling again. This is Parkinson's law, but applied to your finances. Your expenses will always rise to meet your income. You didn't actually get wealthier, you just got more expensive. You're like a high-performance engine that just consumes every single drop of fuel it's given. Now, let's peel back the third layer. This illusion of safety in a savings account. Your parents probably told you to save. And you know what? They were right. Back in 1970. Today, they're handing you a map to a city that no longer exists. A savings account is nothing more than a slow-motion robbery. With inflation just eating away at your interest rates, your safe money is losing purchasing power every single hour you sleep. You're basically funding the bank's wealth with your own fear. The fourth trap is a big one, mistaking liabilities for assets. It's so simple. An asset puts money in your pocket. A liability takes money out of your pocket. That's it. So your dream home with its mortgage, taxes, repairs, that's a liability that you just happen to sleep in. Your car? A depreciating liability. You are absolutely winning the game of looking rich while you're quietly losing the game of actually being free. And right here, a critical design flaw. This myth of the single income. Relying on just one job is like flying a plane with only one engine. If that engine fails, you plummet. The system wants you dependent on that single paycheck. Why? Because it makes you obedient. In today's world of AI and downsizing, it is the single most dangerous gamble you can possibly take. And this one is maybe the most insidious trap of all, the cost of waiting. You tell yourself you'll start investing when you have more money. You're waiting for a tide that is never going to come in. The most expensive thing you will ever own is the time you wasted being cautious. Every year you wait to master your money is a decade of retirement that you are just setting on fire. Number 7, that high-interest ego debt from credit cards. A quick, momentary pleasure that gives you years of financial cancer. 8th, the I deserve this fallacy, where you medicate the sheer exhaustion of your life with a little bit of consumerism. 9th, neglecting your greatest asset, your brain. The market pays you for the value you create, not the hours you work. And finally, number 10, emotional investing, which is really just gambling with a more respectable name, where you let fear and greed make your decisions. Okay, stop. If you think these 10 mistakes are just a series of bad habits, you've completely missed the point. These aren't accidents. They are the features of a system designed to keep you in a state of perpetual functional poverty, a state where you have just enough to survive, but never, ever enough to truly escape. Look, if you click away right now, you'll go back to your life and you will just keep making these mistakes. You'll keep trading your life force for shiny objects. But If you stay, I am going to show you the one power principle that collapses all 10 of these mistakes into a single point of absolute clarity. Let's talk about something called the shadow tax. You won't find it on any government form. It's the price you pay for every single decision you didn't make. All that missed compounding interest, all those years of your life just lost. I remember a man I met years ago. He was 60, and he'd worked in a factory for 40 years straight. And by every standard, he had a nice house, a boat, 2 cars. He was successful. But then the factory was closing down, and he realized all his wealth was just a collection of liabilities. You can't eat a boat. He looked right at me and he said, I realized too late that I wasn't buying things. I was selling myself. And that is the wealth psychology trap. We use money to buy the feeling of success because, deep down, we are too afraid to do the actual work of becoming successful. We use the nice car to signal to everyone, I've arrived, because we're terrified that, internally, we're still standing completely still. So here it is. This is the crucial point. This is the one equation that truly matters. The principle that finally unlocks the prison. True wealth is not $1 million. It's a simple equation. Your passive income must be greater than your cost of living. That's it. If you need $2,000 a month to live and your investments bring in $2,001, you are more powerful than a CEO earning $10 million a year who spends $11. You've become the master of your own time. You are the only person who can't be told what to do. All right, now for your first real actionable step. This is how you actually begin to build your freedom. Tonight, just do this one thing. Calculate your life burn rate. First, find your total monthly cost to exist. Everything. Second, find your true hourly wage. That's after taxes and all your work-related expenses. And third, divide your cost of living by that wage. That number, that is how many hours of your actual life you are paying the world just to exist each month. Your goal is not to save money. Your goal is to buy back your hours. Listen to that first line again. You are working a job you hate to pay for a car that gets you there. The first time you heard it, it was a dark joke. The second time you hear it, it's an indictment. The system counts on you for getting this. But now, you know where the door is. So which of these 10 mistakes is holding your life hostage right now? Let's talk about it. And if you're ready to stop being a tenant in your own life, subscribe. We don't do motivation here. We do the truth.